humming reset. Do we
And
do we do
it's
it?
so simple. You can do it while driving. You know, initially, if you do have someone in your home that's going to tease you, not that your husband would, but if they're going to tease you about it, then do it while you're driving. Do it while you're walking, and you can make any kind of humming noise that you want. But here's what you're doing. The vagus nerve needs to be supple, and it runs all the way from your cranium, from your brain. You've got nerves going along your cheekbones, and I'm going to show you a couple of vagus nerve points. And it runs all the way down through your body. It touches every single organ in your body. It's the longest nerve that wanders and touches all your different vital organs in your body. And so when we have been too stressed for too long, or too hypervigilant, or too revved, it, instead of being supple and being able to expand and contract easily, gets kind of hardened, if you will. And so it gets so that when something changes, it's not able to respond and move easily. So when we're humming, we're actually starting to give vibration back to the vagus nerve, and we're saying, let's soften up a little bit. Let's soften. And so you can do it anywhere to any sound. And basically, you're toning up that vagus nerve again, right at your throat, right as it goes into your brain stem and above. And you're starting to say, it's okay to loosen up. And we all know, like, when somebody says, okay, roll your shoulders, you're like, oh my gosh, that feels so good. Why haven't I rolled my shoulders? Right. And that's really what we're doing with the vagus nerve, is we're saying, roll your shoulders, but it's called humming. And it's giving your vagus nerve the signal, like, it's okay, we're getting back in shape. And you know what? The first time you go to the gym, you can work out super, super hard. But if you never go back to the gym, all you got is a bunch of lactic acid and soreness, right? You
Yeah,
got one
yeah.
day of working out. So humming is something that you can do anywhere or anytime. And I'll share. I went to Sweden this summer, and I was helping a young friend of mine who just had a little one. He was 19 months old when I went to visit. And so I was taking care of him and watching him play so that she could do things like wash her hair and, like clean something out that she wanted to. Like, she just needed some mom help, right? So I was an honorary auntie. I go over there. And so I'm playing with the little one, and I notice he's humming to himself. And I'm just
Mm.
watching him play and hum, and he's moving dirt from here to here. Every day he'd move dirt from here to here. It was so cute. And he would play and hum, and I realized, oh my gosh, he's naturally regulating his system. So I would like hum along with him. And there's so many things we do as a child, particularly when we've had the benefit of growing up in a regulated environment, or in a well-attached home, that we do naturally to regulate ourselves, that we actually want to get in touch with again. Like, so I would just watch him and hum, and he'd sing to himself and that kind of thing. That was all vagus nerve regulation.
It's amazing on how we can go back to little babies and learn from them what it's like to be in that state.
That's right. Just the
Mm.
state of play. I don't
Yeah.
know about you, but one of the things I didn't do a lot of as a kid or beyond was play. And so
Mm.
as an adult, that sometimes for many of us seems a little unsafe to just relax, or just play, or just, take a break, right? And
Yeah.
so I was watching him, and I was just like, that is so fascinating. He's just playing and
Playing.
just
He's just,
moving. It was
yeah, and regulating.
and regulating. And I was like, I'm just like learning so much watching this 19-month-old just move through the world.
Wow. Wow. I love it. I think I'm inviting through what you're saying is our listeners also to go read your book and just bring those practices and start to see what works, because the invitation you have in the book is, you say it's not a workbook, it's a playbook. And I love that, because the invitation is that you choose. The power is in you, because you are deciding here what's working for you, how you want to do it, and of course how we want to read it as well.
Yes. By the time you get to this book, you know how to work hard. By the
Yeah.
time you get here, You've already buttoned that down. Now it's about how to play with your own system. And I'll give all the readers and the listeners another example. And this is a simple one too. You can do it anywhere. It's called the butterfly tap. So you take
Uh,
your right hand and you put it over your heart, or you can even touch your shoulder. And you take your left hand and you put it over your right shoulder or right below your collarbone, and you just tap back and forth. Now, this is doing something beautiful, is it's totally telling your nervous system it's okay to relax, giving the signal we're okay, but it's also working with both sides of your brain. And so you're getting an entire body integration when you're doing this. You can do it in your car, you can do it in the bathroom before a meeting. And what it does is it tells your body to down regulate, to slow down. And it's so important. And it shocks me how effective this is. And maybe you stop and you leave your hands on your, right below your collarbones for a moment and just kind of give yourself even just a little energetic hand hug. And then you take them away and you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. Here I am. Just in that moment, you can breathe a little bit more. You can feel your shoulders a little bit lower. What do you feel right now as you just did that with me?
I just my chest feels expanded. I feel that I'm taking in more oxygen. I feel like, the breath is longer.
Exactly, exactly. And little moments of that add up. That's why it's little signals of reset. All these different little jewels of how you can do these little moments of reset with these little signals to tell yourself this next stage of life, we're going to go ahead and let it be one in which we are grounded. Let it be one in which we get to stay in our nervous system, in our body. And what shows up is all kinds of creativity. And by the way, if we really want people to understand, for a lot of people, what shows up is weight loss. Because when our body is producing so much cortisol and so much adrenaline, particularly after 40, you may run 10 miles, you may constantly work out and wonder, why do I have that little belly of fat showing up? Why do I have these funny little weird spots where it seems to be stagnant? Part of that is the excess cortisol that doesn't have a chance to flush out of your system because it's constantly saying, just in case I need this, just in case I need to run, I'm going to keep this around. And so that was one of the delightful benefits for me when I started regulating my nervous system with the vagus nerve, is that after eating clean, 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 clean for 20 years, I stopped eating gluten and dairy 25 years ago. I'd been doing celery juice for 11 years every morning. I even took it on the road with me when I give keynote speeches. I would take a juicer with me and I was doing that. And I could not lose some of this stubborn weight. Well, guess what? It was cortisol and adrenaline that were stored in my body in different places around my organs because they were saying it's too stressful here to let go. So,
Yeah.
one of the
It,
natural things that happens is when you start to regulate your nervous system with the vagus nerve, you release those old stored chemicals that your body kept because it felt like it was in danger.